Am I live? Can you see me? Hear me? See me? Hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? Let me know if you can see me, if you can hear me. I can't see anybody's chat yet. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Just say see me, hear me. Yes. Good morning, but I can't understand if you can see me, hear me. Let me know. I'm just saying yes. See me? Can see. Thank you. You can hear me well? You can hear me? Thank you, Hema. You can see me, you can hear me. Awesome. Let's get started. So I'm going to take this question, which again one of you has sent me, and I'm going to read this out. My son is 4 years old, struggles with sleep. When he goes to bed, he starts giggling, bouncing, and takes lots of time to sleep. Earlier, I used to massage him, and that helped us. But bouncing and takes a lot of time to sleep. Earlier, I used to massage him, that helped us, but nowadays he doesn't want that. He also wakes up at night at least once a month, and it's difficult for him to fall back asleep. What exercise can we do or add to a sleep routine like music, calming exercises, meditation, so that it helps his overall body and mind to calm down? So that's the question. Okay, that's what I'm going to take today. I would like to know from you, what are the strategies that you feel have helped your child with sleep, and then I'll share mine. I'll speak in details about what I feel have helped all my kids. I mean, when I work with them, it helps them. So, what are the strategies that work for you? How have you helped your child to fall asleep when if you've had difficulties with sleeping? Can you put down some of those comments here so I can see them? Yeah. Hi Lakshita. Hi Komal. Hi Mridusmita. All known faces. I can see some of you. Avat Kumar, that's Bhumika's mom. Hi. Awesome. Tell me, what are the strategies? So, okay, Yasha says lot of proprioception, taking a child to a park. So, lot of proprioception is a very good idea. The only thing is, we don't do a lot of physical activities just before sleeping. Not a good idea. Okay. So proprioception and all is awesome. I would do it like till 7:30, but after that I won't add up a lot of proprioception. Gentle parenting throughout the day. Yes, Irene, gentle parenting. That's a very important point, because we need to be calm also throughout the day. Going to the garden, having a walk, physical activity, routine of sleeping. Yes, Anshu. So, what is the routine of sleeping that has helped? Maintaining a consistent routine. Yes, Dr. Indu. So, what are the things that you do in the sleep routine that you feel has helped you? Jumping, climbing helps. Deep pressure helps. Very good. Yes, correct. Wonderful strategies. Can you give me more things that you do? Hey, Imran Khan says 3-2-1 formula. Correct. So 3 hours before sleeping, you're not going to be doing a lot of eating. You eat before 3 hours before bed. 2 hours before bed, you're not going to sit and work with your child. No sitting tasks, homework, therapy, whatever, matching, nothing. 2 hours before sleeping, nothing. 1 hour before sleeping, no screen time. No screen time. Okay, completely no screen time. So Imran, that is something that I'm working on myself also. I'm like, Reena, no working, no screen. It's my this month's what you call agenda. So yeah, swimming helps, very good. uh, what is this? Warm water bath, Epsom salt bath. Yes, Epsom salt. So we talk about magnesium. Magnesium is very helpful, very, very helpful. Sleep musing. Yes, Gitanjali. Dressing them up. Yeah. So when you change their clothes, it tells the body, oh, it's time to go to sleep, or it's a routine, or it's something, like I can relate to. Giving them a bath, warm water bath. Yes. Hot water bath, gentle massage, Mozart music, less light, low pitch, physical activity. Wonderful. Awesome. I love your ideas. Now let me share mine. I don't know. I'm sure many of you have my book, right? This. I don't know if there's a glare coming on it, but this book. And in this book, there is this chapter. What is it called? Hold on, I'm just reading it. It was like 3, 4 years back. Laying the foundations for therapy, sleep. Because if I feel if sleep is not in place, everything is everything goes for a toss. So the pointers that I have written, I'm going to share them with you right now. And I'm not going to try sharing my screen because I've tried that. Shagufta says, I have that book. I'm reading it. Wonderful, Shagufta. And if you want me to read my book for you, join Autism Insights. Autism Insights was supposed to launch the app on 15th, but it'll be launching on 20th of April. And I have read this entire book the whole month of March. I have ensured that I give 1 hour to reading the book, both my books, and they are there as audio copies now. Okay. So, what am I going to share right now is about sleeping. I have written CSH. C is about circadian rhythms. Okay. S is about sleep drive. H is about hyperarousal. You get this? I'm going to get into more details of it. Very important. Okay. So C, yeah, Arti, I'm happy. I'm so happy. And thank you for buying the book. So C, as I said, is circadian rhythm. S is sleep drive. H is hyperarousal. Now, if I get into the details of it, how do I set up the circadian rhythm? The first thing that I do, I mean, this is my practice that I'm talking about. As soon as I wake up, yeah, it takes some time for us to kind of, like, and again, not just me, it's about our kids also, and you will be able to relate. And I'll tell you, let me explain. So the first thing that I do is I wake up, and the room is a little dark and all, and then I wake up, I go to the balcony, or you can go to the window, whatever. And if you have no window, you don't have light, switch on all the lights. The first thing that affects the circadian rhythm is the light. I'm talking about sunlight. If you don't have, as I said, you'll switch on all the lights, because light is important. So there is a rule which is called 10 before 10, which means, I mean, in the morning, if it is possible, before 10 in the morning, take your child out for 10 minutes to expose them to the sunlight. You know, that is what is going to help to set the circadian rhythms. I hope you get this, what I'm saying. 10 before 10. So light is a main factor. Evening. So one is morning. I did this. So as soon as I wake up, as I said, I go out. I look out at the light, and the light has to fall on the eyes. Of course, the body, but on eyes. That's what like puts us into that. Light is what decides how we sleep, basically. Okay, and how we stay awake. So exposing your child to light 10 before 10 is very helpful. And as I said, if there's no light, I'll switch on all the lights. I can't just, child is just woken up and you just switch on. No, no, no. When the child is like, you give that time for the child to kind of come up. We take time, right? We don't suddenly be like what I am. Hey, come on, let's do a lecture. I won't be there. I would take some time to come into that phase where I'm ready. That's when I'll expose the child to light. So simple walk of 5 minutes. If you don't have a walk, just sitting in the balcony. If you don't have a balcony, looking out of the window. Anything that sets, and if it's a little child whose question that I'm answering, it's just a 4-year-old child, I'll take that 4-year-old out just for a walk outside. So that's what I would do. Anupama, put your questions. If you have, so I see there are more questions. If you have questions, email me. I'm taking all those questions in the order in which they've come. Okay. So email it to me on info at the rate autism with an AWE autisminsights.com, and I'll take your question, Anupama. Okay. So what was I saying? One is light. Okay. Second thing is also at night. So these are simple things, but very profound. I'll give you one example. So one parent who I was working with, one family rather, and this child was not sleeping. Huge issues with sleeping, real huge issues. It was very difficult. They were working, they were giving medications, they were doing everything. The big mistake that they were doing. And when I spoke to them, like I was like, what do you do when he wakes up? Rather, when he doesn't sleep at night. They're like, he wants the light on all the time. I'm like, light on? Okay, I'm sure you have the yellow light on. No, no, no. He keeps the tube light on at night. So if you have your tube lights on at night, This child was sleeping at 2:30, 3:30, and the tube light was on. So what I'm trying to convey is light is important. So in the morning, yeah, it would be white light, but after evening by 7, 7:30, 8, 8:30, we'll have the yellow lights on. And then the parent was like, no, but he cries a lot if I make the yellow light on. That's okay. I mean, there are other things that I suggested, but light is a very important factor to set the circadian rhythms. Makes sense, right? I hope you're there with me. Are you there with me so far? Is this, it's a small little point, but do you think it's making sense? Would you be able to do this one thing for your child? Even if your child doesn't have a sleep disorder or difficulties with sleep, exposing yourself as a parent and your child to the sun in the morning would be very helpful, right? Yes, Shagufta, great. That is first part. The second part, as I said, is evening after 7:38. Yes, on our screens. Now I don't have my screen with me right now, but our phones have to have that. What is that yellow light on in the evenings? We have to have the yellow light on even in the room. And I would really suggest if you can have a very short, just an evening walk. Because just as we're exposing our eyes to, like right now, I'm looking at the window out here. So just as I'm exposing myself to the bright sunlight in the evening, I expose my body, my eyes to the dull or the darkness. So my body is getting that signal, okay, oh, it's time to go to sleep, right? So that it means night light should not be white, preferably Gitanjali, not a good idea to have that as white. Okay, so this is the first part of it that I spoke about circadian rhythms. What else sets the circadian rhythms? I've written same meal time and same waking up time if possible. Same waking up time meaning Saturday, like today, like I mean, if it's like an hour thing, it's okay. Usually I wake up by 6 o'clock or so in the morning, and today I woke up at 7. It's a Saturday, so that much is okay. But if I'm used to waking up at 6 o'clock, and if I wake up at 10, not a good idea. So if you wake up your child every day at 8 o'clock, but on Saturday, Sunday, your child wakes up at 10, 11. This parent that I'm talking about who had difficulties, whose child had difficulties with sleep, he would sleep at 3:30, wake up at 10, some days 11, some days 12. It was all different every day. So the body will have a lot of time to set those rhythms. We are training our body, right? So how we do our routine matters. So first is light, 10 before 10 in the morning, at night, same waking up time every day. That's another thing that we'll take care of. I'm going back to my point, because I want to take everything. Um, what have I written? 10 before 10, same meal time. Same meal time is another thing. Meal time, like breakfast at the same time, my lunch at the same time. And as I said, 3 hours before we finish our eating time. For kids, yeah, a little, maybe 2 hours before, but not just close to bedtime. A lot of parents that I know, the kid sleeps at 10 and they're having their dinner by 9, 9:30. Not a good idea, So these are certain things that I would take care of. Is this clear, na? What I mean by the circadian rhythm bit here? Then I've written food. The food will affect the microbiome, the gut microbiome, and our gut health will affect the sleep, right? It's all connected. Vitamin D is another thing which many of our kids are deficient in, because vitamin D will affect the functioning of the gut. It will also affect the because we get vitamin D from sunlight, right? I mean, that's how it is. It's all about light, light, light. I mean, if you think of sleep, just think of light, 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 light. So if a child is deficient, less vitamin D, then gut health would be an issue, and the child would also have difficulties with sleep. So first I'll check is the light, then I'll take care. When was the last blood work done? When did I last meet my doctor? Is my child, does my child have enough magnesium levels? Does, the, what is that, restless legs, child, many kids, many parents tell me they keep moving their legs a lot, lots, restless legs that we call it. And many of them benefit with magnesium. So I'm not a doctor. I would really suggest meeting a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. Yeah, I'm a therapist. But these are things that I've seen in my practice. So what I'm saying is vitamin D and what is the kind of food that your child is eating. Now, when I say about the food, because food will affect your gut microbiome, right? And your child's gut microbiome. So I had this child who used to come to me for therapy and had real bad issues with sleeping and everything. Everything was very bad. And I said, so I had to really sit with them and ask them, like with the earlier parent, I had to really ask them. They were like, I'm doing everything, I'm doing everything, I'm doing everything. And I couldn't think, oh my God, she must have kept the white light on. So that didn't strike me. That same way with this child, I sat. I said, what do you do after therapy? What do you do? Everything was covered, but I was still not getting, ki, where is this child? Why is the child finding it difficult to sleep? So every day after therapy or after school, they had a shop where this child was passing, and every single day the child was given a sugar, like maybe a chocolate or what is that apna, those drinks that we get, a lot of those kinds of drinks like fruity. I'm not talking about certain what you call fruity or a brand or something, but it could be a smooth or a whatever. But the child was drinking it every day, so a lot of sugar going in every day. And then I was like, oh my God, but why do you give every day? They're like, you know what? My child doesn't listen. My child has a tantrum if I don't give. I said, yeah, I know the child will have a tantrum, but sometimes, children will have a tantrum and we still have to set those boundaries. You get that what I'm saying, right? And they stopped everyday thing. They made it once a week. Sleep started getting better. So I'm not saying that it's only diet. Yes, there are other factors also, but diet is also equally important. A lot of kids who do not sleep well do not have diverse microbiome. When I say that, it means exposure. What is the kind of food that you're eating? Fermented foods, uh, exposure to. So when we expose our body, we have microbiome is that bacteria that live on our body and in the body. So what are the kids being exposed to? Are they going out for a nature walk, because that's where we get our bacteria from? Are we hugging trees? Are we closer to the trees? Are we taking our kids to a park where the child is meeting other kids? So we share our microbiome. You getting what I'm saying? So it's not just the food, it's also the diversity of the microbiome, and we get it by exposing ourselves to different people. So having different outings, uh, going out to a park, being with pets, dogs, cats, petting them, going out for nature walks, being among trees. These are beautiful ways to enhance and the diversity of the microbiome, which is another way by which the sleep would also get better. I hope you gets that, right? Varsha says, my son gets super excited when yellow light is on. Then you could put some other light on. It could be a shade of like an orangish color. You'll have to experiment with it. You get these bulbs these days, Varsha, and from your phone you can change the color of the bulb. Like, do you want yellow or red or whatever? So that is what you can do, and you can change the color, and that's how it would help. So not necessarily yellow. I'm talking about general things here. Not every child will have a vitamin D deficiency. Not every child would have a deficiency with magnesium. Maybe many other kids are exposed to, they have a very good diverse microbiome. Maybe that's happening. But if they don't have, so what I'm saying is I'm giving you general pointers. Okay, whatever that I'm discussing so far, you feel this is helpful? Is it helping you? Akshay says, my daughter sleeps in the night on time, but she wakes up at around 3:30, sleeps again for 2 hours. What can I do? So listen to all these points that I'm telling you, Akshay. And I have a detailed masterclass on sleep. So you could check that. Detailed. I've really spoken in depth. This is definitely what I'm speaking, but there's in depth where I've spoken, and I've also given exercises. What exercises to do? There are certain things like abdominal sleep reflex. There's something called meridian tracing, which I can't teach over here. So you can go through it in details and check it. But listen to these pointers that I'm telling you and see if you're doing these in the first place. Okay? All right. So, so I said people who have sleep issues have less diverse microbiome. Vitamin D, I told you. And then comes winding down. So when I say winding down, I'll give you one example. Yesterday, now I don't do this most of the times, but this is like yesterday. I tell myself every day, Reena, laptop off by 6:30, and I most of the days I do it. But yesterday I had some assignment which was playing in the back of my mind, and that was not letting me sleep. No, finish this, finish this, finish this. That one task that I had to do. So I sat, typed that email that I had to type, I scheduled it, and after that I slept. But I was working, like, so So I did not have like an unwinding routine. And so even when I was on the bed, it took me a lot of time to actually fall asleep. I hope you get what I'm saying. That's why that unwinding routine is very important. What Anshu told some time back, changing clothes, warm water bath, maybe reading a book, the 3 to 1 rule that we discussed about. These are all the things that are important. What are the other unwinding things that I'm talking about is anything that activates the parasympathetic system. What are those? Music, deep pressure. Again, where can I give deep pressure? I can give with a ball, I can give with a massage, I can give deep pressure into a lycra, lycra swing. I can use beautiful, lovely smells. Lavender essential oil helps if you diffuse it. Many kids, so these are all ways by which I calm down the nervous system. So that's like an unwinding routine every day, every day. So that's what we are getting into. Another point that I mentioned is it's not just sleep duration but the quality of sleep. So this, just as if you drive, that we have the first gear, we have a second gear, we have a third gear, we have a fourth gear, right? And while driving, we again sometimes go back to the first gear, we come to the second. So in if I go from one place to another, I am shifting my gears so many times. I'm not always on third gear or fourth gear, again, if it's on a highway or whatever. What am I trying to convey? Sleep has different phases. So it's not like, yeah, my child slept for 10 hours, but did your child actually fall into those deeper, what you call, phases? That's also equally important. Surinder, I see your message which says, give me idea on how to stop spitting. Email me. That's what I've been saying. Email me your questions. I'll take each question in depth. If I say, okay, do this, do this, do this, do this, it does not help. I feel, let me get into each topic in detail. Let me actually give you some value rather than just give you superficial pointers. Are you all okay if I go into depth? Can you put it down depth, or just put D or S so I know what you want me to do? Because this is what would help you rather than, okay, do this, try it, okay, do this, try it. I don't want to do that, Surinder. Yeah. Jyoti, thank you for letting me know. Let me get into these depths. Thank you, Randhir, Kajal. Thank you. So I would get into the depth and let me just do that. All right. So what was I saying? It's not the duration of sleep, it's also the, what you call, the phases of sleep that your child gets into. So that's important. Many kids that I know keep their mouth open and they sleep. Many of them have their sinuses that are blocked. Many kids. So using essential oils like lavender, yes, that helps for sleeping. 2 drops on the pillow. Some kids don't like it. I don't like lavender personally. I don't like it. I like, what is it that I like? If I like a blend of. So I'm not a essential oil specialist or somebody. And you can, if you really want to know more, you can read and learn more about and maybe consult a person who can help you out. But I don't like lavender oil, but lavender oil is proven. It helps kids to fall asleep. But what was I saying was, if kids keep their mouth open when they're sleeping, in that case, using something like a peppermint oil for diffusing, using something like an eucalyptus oil, nilgiri, that helps to get rid of this congestion. Child breathes better, sleeps better. So these are certain things that I would also work upon. Now in my masterclass on sleep, I've also given techniques on how to work on sinus cavity activation. So there are a lot of things. Some kids need melatonin. Melatonin is like a hormone that are, there's a what you call pineal gland which secretes melatonin, and that is released, and that level goes high up in the evening, which helps us to fall asleep. So many kids benefit from taking melatonin. Now, I'll give you one more example. So, one parent who was talking to me, she's like, I am giving him melatonin, but he's not sleeping. Now, this is the statement. And I was like, melatonin is not the only thing that will help your child to sleep. I hope you get this by now. Light is important. Is your child getting exposure to light? Are you eating the meals at the same time? What are you doing to enhance the diversity of the microbiome? Are you giving enough proprioceptive input? Are you having a good unwinding routine where the child knows, oh, it's time to sleep? Are you doing a good 3 to 1 that routine that we spoke about in this today? And then, yeah, supporting with melatonin. So I hope you get, it's not like, okay, I give melatonin and everything is done. No, it's not that way. So some kids need melatonin support. and then it helps them to fall asleep. So that is some of them who needs it. Anything, I mean, if some of you who've done my rhythmic movements and primitive reflex integration courses, any rhythmic movement or even the autism intervention, if you do any what you call repetitive rhythmic movements, would help a child to fall asleep also. So those kinds of movements are wonderful before sleeping, because that kind of activates the parasympathetic nervous system. The body feels, oh, it's time to go to sleep. So that way, if you've not done my primitive reflex integration courses, they're coming up in May, and you can register on Khushi, KHUSHI.net.in, and you can learn about them. Okay. So what was I coming to? Hold on. So I spoke about this. Okay, so I've written subconscious fear of falling asleep. So there were some kids. Now, I don't know if you believe in all these things, but there were some kids I know of who, some of them can't breathe well. So and when they sleep, they can't breathe, like an apnea, sleep apnea. So they they are sleepy, their eyes are full of sleep, you can see, but they're fighting sleep, because there's this subconscious fear that when I fall asleep, I may not be able to breathe. Or some kids get those nightmares and they don't want to sleep. I remember one child I worked with, and I used EFT, that's emotional freedom techniques. And when we worked with him, this child was scared of darkness. And so every time he closed his eyes, he was not comfortable. And he always wanted his mom around. He always wanted to hold. He wanted his hands under her body so that he could feel that pressure and feel safe. That's another reason that could be one of the reasons why some kids, and this boy really struggled with sleeping, and I worked around everything else. But this was something that was missed out. So this could also be a reason, and we need to address this also. Okay, what else have I written? I think that's all that I've written. Now I'm going to go through my pointers in the book. So far, is it helpful? Let me know. Helpful. H for helpful. Just put H so I can see it that you're there with me. You're there with me. You're listening to me. Are you listening with me? Okay, great. So here, I'm just going to, great. Thank you, Bhavi and Deepmala. Surinder. Surinder says G. I don't know what G means. Anyways, I think it's a typing error. Kajal, Lakshita, Yasha. Thank you. So I'm going to read this. I've written in my book, the pointers that I've written is, one is a bedtime routine. We spoke about it. You see what works. Being consistent is very important. That's what I've written. And you know this better than anyone else. It's a good idea to have lava lamps as a night lamp. That's what I've written. Uh, so for kids who find it difficult to sleep alone, who are scared of sleeping, who want deep pressure, having a lot of pillows around, when they're sleeping, a lot of pillows all around their body helps. That makes them feel more calmer. Deep pressure before sleeping is a very good idea. So massages, you get those magnesium oil. Yeah, magnesium oil. You get those oils which have magnesium in it, and a lot of kids benefit by massaging with those. I've written use cotton bed sheets and cotton pillow covers. A lot of times what happens is, at least I used to have it. If the bed sheet is made of polyester, these curtains that I can see, the polyester, synthetic material, you don't feel comfortable. Velvet, satin. I remember having some bed sheets when I was little, which had those embroidery on it. Oh God, it was so uncomfortable. I couldn't sleep. So checking the bed sheet, checking the pillow, washing those pillow covers and bed sheets 3 to 4 times before putting it for your child, using the old ones, because they are the softest for a child. So that is what would be helpful. Keep the room cool. A decrease in body temperature signals the transition to sleep. So that's very important. Everybody may not have an AC and may not prefer to have an AC, but at least during the summers, if that is possible, because it really helps the child to fall asleep. Screen, we've already spoken about. What else have I written? Fixed waking time. Eating, I've spoken about. Natural light, we've spoken about. Epsom salt baths. Earthing. Earthing is where you expose your body. You touch the surface of the earth. Walking bare feet on grass, walking bare feet on stone, just sitting on a stone. Even that is enough. So those are the kinds of things that would help immensely, surrogate tapping. So there are certain EFT tapping scripts that we have. So that also helps. I think there were a few more points that I've mentioned here. Let me see if I've taken them because I did write it down here. So I spoke about CSH in the beginning. C was circadian rhythms. S is sleep drive. Sleep drive is something like appetite, So if I have eaten, this is what I realize when I eat my lunch late, instead of 1, if I make it 2, some days 2:30, which is very rare. But if I do that, then my appetite to have my snack dies down. Same way, if your child sleeps in the afternoon for 2 hours, 3 hours, see younger ones below 4 or 3, they need to sleep. But beyond that, it's not needed. I mean, and again, every child is different. I'm just talking about general strategies. But if your child sleeps in the afternoon, then the nighttime sleep, the appetite reduces, the sleep drive reduces. So that's another thing. So C was circadian rhythm, S was sleep drive, and H was hyperarousal. A lot of our kids have mororeflex present, fear paralysis reflex present, vestibular systems which are not integrated. So their systems are constantly hyper aroused, attuned. Oh, what was that? Oh, what's this? Oh, what's happening? Like I'm focusing on every small little thing, which doesn't let my body to rest and relax. So, working on integrating those primitive reflexes, working on what you say, normalizing and helping with processing of the vestibular input, these are important because hyper arousal will affect the sleep drive and it will also affect the circadian rhythm. You get that what I'm saying? So, these are all important pointers. Hold on, there was a few more things. Did I write it down? I spoke about this. Same waking time, same meal time. Okay. I think that's it. No, no, no. There's one more. It's not sleep duration. I've written few more things which are not for kids, but which are for us as parents. Now, I remember, I don't know how you are. Like now, my son is a little grown up, and I don't have to put him off to sleep. But when he was little, I used to be like, 9:30. Oh my God, he's still not slept. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I used to get all worked up. And my being worked up used to affect my child. He couldn't sleep because I was so anxious as a parent. I knew I had to calm down. I did a lot of EFT tapping. So, working on yourself, doing nice deep breathing, breathe, longer exhales are going to be more helpful. When you breathe, when you calm down, when you relax, that's when you go and give instructions to your child. Even till now, I'm a work in progress. With my son, I keep getting into those patterns. Oh, you didn't do this, you don't do that. And then I realize, no, 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 Reena, you have to be gentle, you have to be gentle. So it's not that I'm always that way, but I'm still working on myself. So what I'm saying is, I don't want that we feel, oh, he woke up at 8 o'clock today. Oh my God, she had mentioned you have to have a sleep, what you call a fixed waking up time every day. These are pointers. You don't have to get rigid about them. Take it as you can implement it. If it makes you anxious, it will make your child anxious. Whatever is your state, your child will download that state and make that state as his own default state. So it's very important that you be more aware. You do some tapping if that helps you, do a walk if that helps you. And I did speak about this in details in my last time's YouTube live. So this is what I wanted to talk about sleep. And next time I'll take up the next question. Now I have 75 questions on the list. I'm thankful that you're all sending me the questions, and I would answer. Do join my app, autisminsights.com. If you can go pre-subscribe, the 1 month for the month of April is free. And if you want more details on sleep, you can check my masterclass. It's quite in details. If you want to learn more on how to do the exercises, what exercises to do, you can check my upcoming events on khushi.net.in. ठीक है? So क्या लिखा है? Ma'am, I want your appointment. So Kiara, I don't give my individual sessions. I give my services through my trainings. And once you've done my trainings, they are the parents who I meet, because see, the fact is, I don't want to talk about why my child does this, why my child does that. When they've done my trainings, they've gone into the depth. A lot of you I see who are here already, who've done my trainings. And when they have done it, they ask me questions which are very different, and I want to go to that depth, so they are the kids who I see, and that's what I do. So if you want an appointment, you can take an appointment with my assistant, but I am not taking new kids for appointment. I'm working with my older kids and training mainly. Yeah, ma'am, these can help in restorative sleep also. If he wakes up at 3 for pee and sleep again, yes, it does. And Neha, if you've done my sleep masterclass when I did it, the meridian tracing helps. In fact, if you just do this much what I discussed today, even this would be very helpful, because many a times, like the 3 to 1 rule that I'm telling you, I'm also working on it still. On that day I wrote it over here, next day I wrote it in my mirror. I'm like, Reena, it has to keep going into your head. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. We know it. The aim is to implement it. If you follow those many and you feel, oh, I've done them, then take up the new things. So yeah, that would help. Kiara, channel's name, what channel's name? I don't know what channel you're talking about, but if you're talking about the app, it is Autism. AWETISM Insights, INSIGHTS.com. Yeah. What else was this? After sleep masterclass, it helped a lot, and my son has improved very much. Thank you, Rashmi. It really helps me to know that these pointers are helping you. And for all of you who are listening to me, if you feel, oh, this particular thing helped me, do write an email to me, because I would also love to know what helped your child the most. Whatever that I'm sharing is because I've learned from all of you. Parents like you who've done the exercises and they say, oh, you know what, this helped me more, or that helped me more. It will help me to deepen my understanding also. So thanks for letting me know, Rashmi. Okay. So I'll see you next Saturday at 10 o'clock IST, Indian Standard Time. Okay. Bye bye. Before you go, I wanted you to know about my app, autisminsights.com. Autism with an AWE. And in this app, what do you get? You get a 14-day free trial period to the foundation level. You get daily insights from my working for the last 23 years. What you see right now on YouTube, you get to meet me, hear me every day. You get my audio books, you get my recorded courses, you get my master classes. There's so much waiting for you. And I want you to experience it and grab that 14-day free trial for yourself.